Hi, YouTubers. My name is Tamika. My pronouns are she and her. And welcome to my channel. And today I'm feeling hopeful. So I certainly wanted to be able to share that with all of you. And I wanted to share it around hope in a times of distress and in times of chronic pain and suffering. Oftentimes, as Black women, I know for myself, we have really been conditioned to learn to live with the pain. That's just what it is. Life is a continuous struggle. For a lot of us, faith based Christian tradition, you'll hear you have your cross to bear. And what we forget that comes on the other side is that we still need to have hope. We still need to have hope and joy in our lives instead of just being all consumed by the sorrow, the pain, and the suffering. Within that sense of having hope, we're able to know that there's something to look forward to, that there is an alternative, that there is a way to seek remedy, there is a way to seek redress. And a lot of the things that we need to probably even seek remedy and hope for probably happen in our formative years, in our childhood, the traumas that we experience there. Then the traumas that you've experienced as an adult. Maybe you have a child and the father is no longer in the child's life and the relationship fractured in a very difficult and challenging manner. Maybe, for example, you're just struggling to keep the roof over your head because, as we know, things are really challenging this particular time in society, and maybe you're the only sole earner in your household. Maybe you're having to care for elderly parents, and it's not only emotionally taxing, but it can also be financially a struggle as well. So we have to know that in those moments when we feel so overburdened with everything on our shoulders that yes, there is hope for us. And it's kind of, it maybe it might sound silly, but it's the ministry of encouragement. And I've that's not my phrase. I heard it from a practical Bible teacher by the name of Joyce Meyer, and she says that we need to have more of us in the ministry of encouragement. We need to be able to encourage one another, carry each other's burdens. And that's where we have to be able to say, I'm not going to hold on to unforgiveness in my heart. I'm not going to hold on to bitterness and resentment, because not only is it impacting me emotionally and spiritually, it can manifest in other ways throughout my body physically. And so, one of the things that I like to reflect on for myself, I do a lot of praying. I spend a lot of time reading scriptures, reading the Bible. I try to also find works that are uplifting, that I can learn from other people who have had similar journeys and what's worked for them. So I'm someone who definitely enjoys reading a memoir, for example, because I recognize that if I just sit here in my apartment and focus on my pain, it's not going to make my pain go away, and it's certainly not going to make me feel any better. It's actually going to probably become all that more consuming. And that's when you get into those really dark and scary places. And oftentimes, we don't feel like we should be able to ask and reach out for help, or we don't feel like we are worthy and deserving of joy and hope in our lives. And as I always, when I sign off, I say that Black women, we are loving, we deserve to be treated with love, and we deserve to have joy. We really have to believe that here in our hearts for ourselves, first and foremost, right? Because if it's not in your heart, how are you going to be able to share it with somebody else? Or as famous philosopher and drag queen RuPaul says, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? And if you can't start from a place of recognizing that, yes, I am suffering, I am going through something, just the fact that you're here and you're going through. I've myself nearly in 2019 lost my life. If it wasn't for the medical intervention that I was able to receive, and if it wasn't for having the mom that I had who knew that something was seriously wrong. And March the 2nd of 2019, that could have been my last day on earth. If I was here alone in my apartment with just me and my dog. Actually, I didn't even have a dog at that time. So this was prior to that. and my internal organs were shutting down, the outcome would have been very different. But God has a plan. And the intervention that I had with my having my parents, having my mom in particular, recognizing that something is wrong, her child is hurting, even though, yes, I'm a grown person, she recognized that. And I was able to get the help that I needed. I was admitted to the ICU. I've had a number of hospitalizations on account of just my underlying medical ailments, even before I get into anything with mental health. So I know that if I didn't have any hope at all through all of these challenges, and I'm not even getting into the depths of them at this particular moment, I wouldn't be sitting here able to even to do this YouTube channel. For me, this is therapeutic to talk to all of you, to share, to let you know what is happening, what it looks like in the healthcare system, how broken it is, but what it looks like when we are broken. And I know that I'm a broken person. I'm imperfect. I have my own flaws, but I was also physically broken as well. And if I didn't really have the support, and if I didn't have a circle of care around me, which I've had to cultivate, not just my primary family, my parents and my younger sibling, my brother, but I have had to cultivate a circle of care of healthcare professionals as well. I also wouldn't be able to be sitting here and having these conversations because I would be isolated in my pain. And that's a dangerous place to be in. You self isolation, whether you do it to yourself because you feel embarrassed, maybe you feel ashamed, you don't know where or how to ask for help. But I'm here to tell you that it's okay to have that vulnerability. Actually, that is a sign of strength, being able to recognize that you need help and being able to recognize that you cannot do this on your own, and that yes, you living with chronic pain, that's a part of your story along the arc of your life. The chronic pain doesn't define who you are as an individual. And as I say that out loud, I say that for myself and I say that to you as well. So in the ministry of encouragement, what we really need to do is remember that we're there to encourage one another. You need to check in on people. You need to ask, how are you? How are you managing and coping with the pain? What does that look like for you today? How can I help if I can help you, right? I know it's all well and good to say, I'll keep you on my thoughts and prayers, but maybe we can put hands and feet to our prayers and put our prayers in action. Maybe there's somebody in your life that you know is living with chronic pain, and you may not realize things that you take for granted they struggle with. For me, with the pain in my hands, sometimes opening bottles just here in my household, I can't do that. I'll have to wait until I can get my brother or my father to come over and to help me. There's those little things that might seem innocuous to someone that has their health, but for somebody like me who's living with the chronic pain, no, it's actually a barrier, that's a hurdle. But if I don't have the hope to know that this is where I am right now in this moment and accept that this is what is happening. However, it is not going to define every single moment moving forward. And I do have to take it moment by moment. And I would encourage you, if you're living with chronic pain, to do the same, because each moment and each day, it's going to look and it's going to feel different for you. And as Black women, we can't be insular and not willing to share what is happening to us, because it's not just happening to you. Other Black women are experiencing the similar things, especially if they're living with chronic pain. So reach out to someone today that maybe needs that help and support. If you are that person that is living with a condition, know that the condition that you have doesn't define who you are, and it doesn't define your story. You can change your own story and change your narrative. And you can do that by having hope. You won't change your narrative if you're coming from a place of despair, hopelessness, guilt, and shame. You'll be stuck in that place. And I've been in that place. It's a scary place to be in, and you don't want to be stuck there indefinitely, because the healing can't begin. And I guess this is what it all boils down to. The healing can't begin without having that, recognizing that hope is possible. That today, yes, I can only do 70% of what I set out to do. That's great. I did good. I can feel content in that. I reached out for help. I advocated for myself. I can feel content with that. And it's not about thinking you're going to get it all together all at once. This is a journey, and it's taking you a journey of how many decades, depending on your age, to get to where you are now. So don't anticipate that it's going to happen overnight. It's all about going through a process. It's self reflection, it's contemplating, meditating, praying, whatever that looks like for you to cultivate hope in your life. I'm encouraging you to do that. So hopefully this message will reach those ears that need to hear it. And as I always say, listen to Black women, believe our stories, amplify our voices. We are worthy. We are deserving of love. We're deserving of hope, of love, of joy. And that if you're an ally, of course you will amplify our voices and you will stand alongside us, knowing that we have a story to tell. Thank you, everyone, and have a blessed day. Bye.